This is Fate 212, and I'm Nafka, and this is an introduction into the Dark Age miniature game. And here's a couple of the models right off the bat, and you can see they're really based off of Gerald Brom's artwork. Um, with the models comes the appropriate cards that have their stat lines and everything else you need in the game. And I just received uh, my box here, and this is I ordered 2 starter sets. The first is the Brood War Band. There are a total of 6 different factions or armies, with a brand new one here coming, so I guess that'll be 7. But this is the Brood. It comes with 5 models, and they're on a 40mm base, so all those are. And here's the Scarred War Band. So I got 2 starter sets. To note, starter sets start at about 300 points is what they give you. I've kind of heard rumor that they're going to be reformatting those starter sets, but the starter sets are excellent buys. You do save money on them. But here's the first book, Dark Age Apocalypse, and it has the core rules in it. And you can see the thickness of the book. It's a hardback book, and they are full color inside. So the quality of the books is really there. I like the books. This is the force list book, and it is thick. It has your 5 starting armies pretty much all in there, and it's thick, full of fluff and everything, which we'll look at here in a minute. And this is Devastation. This is the latest hardback book, and it has the core army, which is living machines and another cult for the scarred faction. But so let's take a look at these books. And here are all 3 books there, and of course the 2 starter sets. So the first book, Apocalypse, has the core rules in it. And you can see the artwork in here. The interior, it's all full color. Everything's full color in the book. And it starts off with a letter from Brom, or a message from Brom, Gerald Brom, the artist. And then it goes right into the general rules. This is a D20 system. The lowest numbers are always what you want. Those are the ones you need to actually hit things or accomplish things. And you can see we go right into a little display of some of the models. And then there's advanced play. After the core set of rules, there's advanced play, which gets into terrain effects, scenarios, campaign, a full set of campaign rules. Of note, there's 20 different scenarios in that book. It's a D20. You drop a D20. There's your mission. So there's quite a few missions in here. And I think the campaigns have leveling up and whatnot. So here's the Apocalypse Force List book, and this book goes through each faction and gives a full description on them, like a little bit of fluff, and then a full colored image, and of course the stats. And here are the Forsaken. This is humanity, which is currently gripped into a religious fervor and enforcing that upon everybody else. And you can see how the units are displayed and the various options of them. And here are the Chosen of Mark. These are a subgroup of the Forsaken. And it goes through several of them. And there's a lot of close combat in this game. There are guns, psychic powers, magic, or biogenetic stuff. I mean, that was St. Luke there, and he has a shotgun. So here's the Outcasts, which is another group. These guys live out in the barren wastelands. And these guys have probably one of my favorite pictures. Look at that guy with two giant concrete blocks with handles in them, and he wields those around as weapons. I mean, that's just that's pretty dang cool. Here are the bounty hunters. The bounty hunters, I believe, are part of the Outcast. I haven't gotten into all the fluff on every single group yet. The Drugari, I think, is how it's pronounced. This is actually an alien group, and they deal with the elements, and I believe a type of shamanism, which harnesses the elements and conjures up elementals, and they have slaves. I have read the background on them, but don't have enough time to really talk about it here. Here are the Scarred, which I did get a starter set of. These guys tend to do a lot of grafting, um, a lot of genetic enhancements, and things like that. And here's one of their cults, the cult of Toxin. Oops, I think I'm going to, let's go back and look at this model, look at this artwork. This is an abomination. And I mean, these are huge models. Some of these are on 50 millimeter bases. The standard models on a 30 millimeter, and the larger models are on the 40, and the huge ones are on those large bases. But anyway, here's the cults. They have the cult of Toxin and the cult of Blood, I think is what it was called. This is another group of the Forsaken. And here's the Brood, which is the other starter set I have. And these guys are basically mutations that are created in a biomass in the swamp by several intelligent species, by several intelligent entities. And once I can't get the focus in just properly there, but there we go. But once again, each group does have a tremendous amount of fluff. There's a lot of reading to do. And then we get into the special abilities and or special effects that each model has. Special abilities is the terminology. And it goes through the different special abilities, and then it has weapon abilities. So they're all contained within the Force List book, which is nice. They're basically all in one place. And these guys have a fantastic online supplements, or I guess you call shortcuts. They have little, hey, here's a list of all the special abilities. So they're easier to use at the tabletop. And you can also download all the templates. They have arc templates, which means you do a big sweeping arc in front of the model, and it basically hits everything, can hit everything in front of it. They have flaming templates and streams. Streams are much narrower and long. And like 3 different size blast templates. There's just quite a few. You can see there guys with guns. Each different faction really fights considerably different from each other, as much as I've read so far. I know that the Brood have a lot of regen ability. Even after you knock them down, they can get back up unless you really start hacking them apart, or you use weapons that cauterize and prevent regen. You just get a good idea of what kind of models there are in each set. And there's, like I said, that's a cool concept. A guy with just big concrete blocks strong enough to wield them as a weapon. Everything dies seems to be the catchphrase for Dark Age. And on a barren wasteland with a lot of toxic areas and post-apocalyptic, it really does fit. Everything does die. and sometimes rather quickly in this game. It is a skirmish game, and you can charge right through units pretty dang fast. You might be on top 1 second and think you're doing really well, and next thing you know, there goes most of your force. I'm in the third book. This is the latest book. It's got lists out the machines that have come alive, and this is called Core. And I haven't read much into this book except to go over some of the artwork and look at some of that. But it does follow the what the other books have as far as full color spreads and going through each unit. Most of the core models are, I think they're on 50mm basis. I mean, they're huge models. And the models that I've gotten so far are pewter, but I know that there's some resin in there, especially on like the clear resin for elementals. So, and here's the Cult of Metamorphosis, which is a scarred cult. And here's the fallen angels of that cult. These are also some brand new models that have just come out, and they can be found on their website. I know I just saw this guy on the website I was looking at. It's a pretty intense unit there. Once again, there's some more special weapon abilities and special weapons and special abilities to that are additions from this book. And there's some of the core units and the templates. So, and that's pretty much it. For now, I'm really loving the game. I've gotten some in, and so Dark Age, check it out. This is Nafka on Fate 212. Good night.